Hey, Shelly. Are you off to Schmackery's today? Hey, Liz. How's it going, everybody? Getting ready. Very nice. Very nice. We're just making coffee. Hey, Lainey. You were catching up on my birth story. Very nice. Very nice. You officially opened today. What do you mean? Wait, what do you mean officially open? What do you mean? Is it a new location? Is that why? If so, I did not know that was happening. Are you going to be making slime? Not right now. This is book club. I don't know. Can you, Hannah? Can you see the little thing when you first come in that says it's book club, or does it not show you that it's book club? There should be a heading that says book club. But hopefully you can see that. Oh, I didn't know you guys had a new location, Shelly. That's cool. I wish they made sugar-free cookies. I would take them. It is true what Liz says, that our baby is 1 week old today. She's 1 week old today. At this time 1 week ago, none of us knew we were going to have her today. We thought she wasn't going to be born until next week. But here she is, 1 week old. I was telling her that this morning. At this time 1 week ago, we had no idea. Mommy was just making coffee, looking puffy, and that's it. My face looks so different, you guys. Like, it's wild how even just your face. All right, bye, Liz. See you later. That heading is okay. The week did fly by, but like I feel like looking at my face in the video from last week, I looked rough. Like something was like up, you know? Because like it's not like I like prego face on the day of delivery. No, but I just mean like I didn't do anything to make my face go down. It just did it automatically. I looked rough. It was rough. Yeah. I cannot believe she's a week old already. It's shocking to my system. Happy 1 week. It is amazing, Lainey. It is amazing. I didn't know you were pregnant. Well, I'm not pregnant anymore. She's out now. The belly's gone down considerably. Not completely, but very considerably, which is very nice for me because I can fit some of my clothes again, which is cool. Not all of them, but some of them, which is nice for me. Do you still feel a phantom kicking? No, I don't feel any phantom kicking. Yeah. Did you know you were pregnant? Oh yeah, I knew I was pregnant from 3 weeks. Actually, we found out very early. I never felt phantom kicking, Lainey. I feel good, Heather. How do you feel? Feeling good? I feel good. Secret baby is here. She's here. She's right here. Mommy needs coffee. Thank you, Ezra. That's very kind of you. Yeah, I have my baby. I know she came early, Christina. Yes, she's here. She's early. She was early. Just a little bit, not detrimentally so. But we do need coffee. We do need coffee. I know, everyone's so surprised. It's true, she was born. And I don't blame you guys for being surprised because she was early. You know what I mean? So it's not like you weren't keeping track or anything. She was early. I feel good, Nikki. I know, she was ready. She was ready to come out. She did not want to be in there anymore. I have my baby and she's 11 months. Congratulations. Oh my gosh, you almost have a 1-year-old. How crazy is that? I can't even, my brain can't even fathom it. No, I won't be showing her face online until she's old enough to make that choice for herself. The pink hair helps. Avery is right. The pink hair does help. Your live duration is longer than 35% of creators. Haven't we only been on here 5 minutes? I feel like we just started. Am I crazy? How long have we been on here? 5.5 minutes maximum? I'm just making coffee. We haven't even read yet. Why is TikTok getting on me? Calm down, TikTok. It's only been 5 minutes. They literally just tried to shame me for the length of my life. Calm down, TikTok. I want to let you know that your choice of color is coming back. Oh, yes. Yes. This is a yeah. It's all coming back. It's very weird, Tori, right? Like I feel like a normal human again. It's crazy what happens to your body, like, after the baby's born. That's something people do not tell you, how fast it all just, like, what's in your top. My baby is in my top. This is my first baby. Yes, it is definitely our first baby, probably our only baby, because babies are expensive. But any have a good book to listen to. What kind of genre? Any hiccups? Instantly gone too? Yes. Yeah, I haven't really had them except like once. Right before you gave birth, you were looking great. I agree, Tori. That's what I was just saying before you came on. I looked rough that day, right? Like, it didn't look like me. It's weird. And I'm not saying, like, I think people are interpreting it as me looking at my face and thinking that I looked fat, but that's not the word that I'm using. Like, I just looked rough, like something was wrong, you know? And now I look like normal me, like with my, like you're saying, my color, my, like, my eyes look more alive and vibrant. You know what I'm saying? It's a very weird feeling. Yes, you can call her Secret Baby or Jasmine, just like Sloth said. To be fair, you were 9 months pregnant. More than 9 months, yeah. Baby high is everything. It is. It's so good. Wasn't it Saturday? Yes, Isabella. That's exactly right. It was Saturday. It was totally Saturday. Yeah. It's crazy, right? 1 week ago today, we did not have her. Hello. Can you not peek yourself out? Can you stay in there, please? Thank you. Hi, my precious. Are you working something out in your diaper? That's okay. Work it out. Or you just want to yawn. Hi. You want a kiss? Oh, bless you. You saw the sun and now you're sneezy because you have mommy's eyes. Well, you have your daddy's eyes, but you got mommy sneezies. Yeah, you got mommy sneezies, huh? Yeah. Okay. All your friends had boys. This is a fact, you guys. I want to tell you the craziest thing. Sorry if you said this, sorry if you're sharing her name. We are not sharing her name, but I will tell you the craziest thing. So between Secret Husband and I, we know how many people? I want to say okay, hold on. I have to put the phone down for like 2 seconds so that I can put my cup of coffee down. Hold on. We're still here. Okay, so between Secret Husband and I, hey Meg, we know someone having a baby every month, at least one person, from September of last year through July of next year, okay? So, like, that is how many people we know who are either pregnant or just had babies. That's a lot of people, right? Like, a lot of people, yeah? Hi, honey. You're good. And all of them are boys except for her. Every single one is a boy except for her. I'm not joking. She is the only girl in everyone we know. What is in the water, you guys? Everyone is having boys this year. Like, at Secret Husband's job, he knows multiple people who are either pregnant right now or who just have babies, and they're all boys. Yeah, cuddle up, honey. Hey, Kimberly. She's just getting comfy. We're just letting her get comfy. Yeah. I'm gonna move this over here so that I can see. One of my besties was like, he's gonna know his privilege. Yeah, right? Seriously. I mean, that's one of the things. Like, I have the only girl, so she's definitely not. Someone is doing that. We have 2 friends, Meg, who are doing that, actually, that are much better at it than I am. So, yes, essentially. She is a dragon. I know that's not an astrological chart, but she did come out a dragon instead of a snake. What gestation did you have her? Between 37 and 38 weeks. I hesitate to say exactly how many days because the doctors were debating it. Like, they weren't sure. So, like, some people thought I was 37 and 3, and some people thought I was a little over 38. No, she's an Aquarian, Shelly. My brother's an Aries in March. So, like, somewhere between 37 and 38, generally. You guys, coffee with the extra boost of caffeine. I've been abstaining from this for months. It's so good. This is the pods that have the extra caffeine boost. I've been not having them. It's delightful. I went into preterm labor Wednesday at 34. What did they do, Elise? What did they do? Did they give you one of those steroid shots to make it stop? I've heard of some people having that. Thank you, Isabella. I agree. Thank you, Kim. Hey, Victoria. How are you? I agree. There's nothing better. Hey, Ray. I don't think I saw you come in, but hello. I just barely have a kid. She's only 1 week old. She's only 1 week old. Yeah. They gave me a steroid shot. That's what I thought. Yeah. Okay. That's what I've been hearing. Obviously, I didn't experience it, but I have heard that that is what they do for it. Hey, Sophie. Can you breathe? You sound like you're breathing, so that's good. Yeah, she's 1 week old today. Yes, yes, yes. Had to stay overnight to be monitored and showered. Oh my gosh, Elise, I'm so sorry that you dealt with that, but hopefully the shower will be so much fun. Just like stay seated as much as you can. Make people come to you. It's okay. TikTok sabotaging me. Oh, well, you're totally fine, Sophie, because we haven't started reading it. We were just talking about her because it's her 1 week birthday. I know, right? We get a December, a January, and a February birthday. How fun will that be, right? So cool. We were talking about that, how we have winter covered as far as birthdays go. So that's fun. It's fun for us. Thank you. Thank you for the congratulations, everybody. She's 1 week old today. Yeah. She's just whittle. I was so bad that I had to be transferred to another hospital. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I had her. She's right here. She's right here. Yeah, she's 1 week old. I'm not Greek, I'm Italian. So there is some debate familially about like if my grandma's family way back was Greek because they look really Greek. So maybe, but my grandma's family's from Italy, but like southern Italy, and they look real Greek. So I wouldn't put it past us to have some Greek in us like way back. Mamahood is good. She stayed until 37 and she's 9. 37 is great. 37, it's good. 9 years old. 10 is rough, I'm not gonna lie. I nannied a lot of 10-year-olds, and I will tell you, 10-year-olds are rough. My grandpa had this phrase that he used to say. He said, even the rocks on the street hate a 10-year-old. And we don't hate any children, but 10-year-olds are rough. Yeah, she sleeps great, Lauren. Yeah, did I tell you Olivia has Egyptian, but neither Tim nor I? How is that possible, Lainey? I had my daughter at 37 in 2 days, she's 3. Yeah, it's totally fine, right? Yeah, she was 37 and something. You're like, how is she Egyptian? My great-grandfather worked in Egypt for a while. You know, you came out a month early and you're best buddy. Yeah, she's small and that's it. It's possible, Sophie. I mean, anything's possible. What is his, do you know where his family's from? If you tell me, like, I can tell you if there's any, like, if it's close, you know, we look alike. Hey, Julia, how are you feeling today? Are you feeling good? I know we're going to read in just a second. We went natural. We did not have a C-section, no. So she was 6 pounds and 3 ounces, and she was 19 inches. I know, I feel so much better, right? Yeah, I agree. Yes, she was 6 pounds, 3 ounces, and 19 inches. That's right. Hello. How you doing, sleepy pants? Today is her 1 week, yeah. Secret husband loved, well, he was nervous during the moment. You were really close, yeah. I was 6'5", so I was really close also. She was almost my weight. If she had gone 1 week longer, she might have been the weight that I was when I was born. So it's not surprising that she's that small, you know, because I was born at 38 weeks and I was 6 and 5. So yeah, thank you, Kara. Thank you. We did. She's 1 week old. She's 1 week old. Your daughter was 6 pounds and 4 ounces, 20 inches. Very similar. Very similar. Thank you, Amanda. I'm glad you liked it. I loved your story. Sorry for favoring the video. Oh, no, you don't have to be sorry, honey. Your kiddo is back and forth with the due date. Yeah, she was back and forth too. It's weird, right, Roxy, that sometimes they, like, don't know? I don't know. It's weird. Like, the thing is, well, it might be TMI for some of the people that are on here, but, like, I knew what her due date was because, like, I had been tracking her. You know what I mean? So, like, I knew very early that I was pregnant. It's not like it was a surprise, you know? But anyway, 8.5. Dude, Brianna, my sister-in-law, who had a baby 6 months before her, 10.6 or something like that, she had an unmedicated home birth with a 10-pound baby. Unmedicated home birth with a 10-pound baby. That is a woman of strength. Yeah, right? I knew she was a girl too, yeah. A guest date, yeah, that makes sense. Did any of your family come to help, or are you keeping it quiet? A couple of people have come to meet her, but we are keeping it pretty quiet. Yeah, a lot of people have offered, so it's not like we don't have a great support system or anything. My second was 9 pounds, 3 ounces. You should feel like a badass. You should. I give you badassery award because I couldn't have done that. I did it with 6, but like both Secret Husband and I were like, thank goodness she was small, because yeah, there is a lot of sickness going around. We're being very careful. She's not meeting anyone nobody who goes to school right now, none of the school-aged kids. She's not meeting anyone who like works around a lot of people, and she's not meeting anyone who flies here right now. Just people who live nearby. You should feel like a superhero, Crystal. I completely agree. Yeah, superhero to the max. You won't hear a complaint from me on that. All right, so I've dilly-dallied enough. Let's read, because this book is so good. We cannot not read some chapters today. And 8 and, oh my gosh, Ezra, I'm so sorry. I had a very, very tiny tear. I can't imagine if it was worth. She was born last Saturday, Sarah. Yeah, 1 week ago today. Can you believe it? Yeah, we had book club that morning and everything. Nobody knew. We had no idea she was coming. We had no idea. All right, so we are 12 ounces, 8 pounds, 12 ounces. That is a big baby, Becca. We are reading a book called The Once and Future Witches. All the chapters before today are uploaded to YouTube if anyone wants to catch up, but feel free to stay for today to listen and see if you like the vibe of the book. Hey, Charlie. Hello. What you doing? You trying to expose yourself to the masses? Keep your little head in there. Hi, sweet angel. Just rest your head down. We're going to read now. You know you love reading time. Yeah, we're going to read now. Maid nurse slimes in labor and everything. That's exactly right. That really did happen. Hi. Okay, so I haven't read it, but I'm going to stick around and hang out. Yeah, you should. See if you like the vibe. And if you like the vibe, you can catch up. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. You are a secret. Yeah, the back of her head is perfection. She's got a lot of hair. Are you ready to read? Are you ready to read? Yeah, okay, let's read. Okay. Oh, this book opens with a very fitting poem. Hush-a-bye, baby, bite your tongue, not a word shall be sung. A spell for quiet requiring a clipped feather and a bitten tongue. Hey, Allie. She has a lot to add to book club. It's true. Yes. We will go back to the Princess Diaries. We're going to finish this book, then we'll read a Princess Diaries, then we'll probably read something else, then we'll read a Princess Diaries. We're going to finish the whole series, so don't worry about that. James Juniper wanted Bella to skip work and head straight to the suffragette ladies, but Bella insisted that she had obligations and responsibilities and made Juniper sit on a teetering pile of encyclopedias while she worked, which lasted until Juniper got bored and slipped out the door to wander the hushed halls of Salem College's library. It's still early, and there's a stillness to the air that reminds Juniper of walking the mountainside just before dawn, in that silent second after the night creatures have bedded down, but before the morning birds have started up. It feels secret, stolen out of time, like you might see the ragged points of a witch's hat, or the gleam of dragon scales in the shadows. Juniper closes her eyes and pretends the wood pulp pages around her are wet and alive, pumping with sap instead of ink. She wonders if her sister ever stands like this,
Missing home, missing her, and feeling a fragile sprout of sympathy takes root in her chest. She hears the rattle creak of a library cart and opens her eyes to find a prissy, toothy woman hissing at her in a whisper that is several times louder than a regular old speaking voice. She goes on about library hours and permissions and the stacks, although none of the books looked stacked to Juniper, and Juniper is about to cause what Mama Mags would call a scene, when affable-looking gentleman with tuffy ear hair rescues her and herds her back to Bella's office. Bella blinks up at them through her spectacles and says, "What? Oh, I'm sorry. Well, thank you, Mr. Blackwell. My sister has never really been fond of, the rules." There's a little pause while Bella attempts to glare at Juniper, and Juniper attempts to dodge before the hairy-eared gentleman softly says, "I didn't know you had a sister, Beatrice." Juniper feels that fragile spout of sympathy wither and die. The truth is, her sisters ran off and never looked back, never even spoke her name, and they're only together now because of happenstance and a half-spun spell. Juniper feels Bella watching her and works hard to keep her stupid eyes from filling up with stupid tears. Mr. Blackwell looks between the two of them with lines of concern crimping on his brows. "I never liked the rules much either, to be honest," he offers, and then he bows to Juniper as if Juniper is the kind of lady who gets bowed to. "Lovely to meet you, Miss Eastwood," and then he leaves them alone together, and Juniper perches back on the encyclopedia stack to wait and doesn't say anything. Neither does Bella. For a few hours the office is quiet except for the scritch of Bella's pen and the kick of Juniper's heels against the book spines. At noon, Bella screws the cap back onto her ink bottle and stands. "Well, are you ready to join the women's movement, Juniper?" She gives her a small, not very good smile that Juniper guesses is supposed to be an apology, which Juniper neither accepts nor denies. Instead, she shrugs to her feet, toppling the encyclopedias behind her, and Bella looks her up and down, muddy hem to briar-scratched arms, and she sighs a little. "There's a washroom down the hall. At least brush your hair. You look like an escaped convict." And Juniper barely suppresses a cackle. It turns out that brushing her hair isn't enough, and Bella produces a stiff woolen dress from her office closet. It's one whose respectable, pocketless affairs that oblige ladies to carry stupid little handbags, and so Juniper can't take so much as a melted candle snub or a single snake tooth with her. Bella informs her that this is precisely the reason why women's dresses no longer have pockets, to show that they bear no witchy ways or ill intentions, and Juniper responds that she has both. Thank you very much. She doesn't know, in the end, Juniper goes to see the suffragists entirely disarmed, except for her cedar staff. She doesn't know what she was expecting the headquarters of the New Salem Women's Association to look like. An embattled army camp, perhaps, or a black stone castle guarded by lady knights, but it turns out to be a respectable-looking office with plate glass windows and oak paneling and a pretty secretary who says, "Oh," whenever the bell rings. Mary, you want something in this same genre or just like a similar vibe? The secretary is Juniper's age, with the hair the color of corn silk and a crooked nose that looks like it was broken at least once. Her eyes slide between Bella and Juniper and then return to Bella, apparently deciding that she is the more civilized of the two. "May I help you?" Her eyes flick back to Juniper and then pause, lingering on the sawed-off edge of her hair. I think maybe try some stuff. Try that book, I read over Christmas. Try Elsewhere. Try reading Elsewhere. It's a good vibe and it feels similar to this. Not exactly, but like similar. It's called Elsewhere. It's got like a globe, like a snow globe on the cover of the book. Try that one. See if you like that and let me know. And if you don't like that, I'll think of something else. But that feels like vibe-wise kind of similar. It's not in history or anything, but like it feels similar. Bella offers a polite smile to the woman. Oh, hello. I'm Miss Beatrice Eastwood, and this is my sister It is in that moment that Juniper recalls the wanted posters currently spelling out her name in all capital letters across half the city, and she intercedes. June, Miss June West. She glances at her sister, who looks like a taller, skinnier version of her. We're just half sisters, see? She can feel Bella giving her a what the hell is wrong with you kind of look, and she ignores it. She sticks her hand out to the secretary. Pleased to meet you. Bella clears her throat pointedly. Anyway, well, my sister, my half-sister, I suppose, is interested in joining the Women's Association. Yes, the baby was born on Saturday. The secretary beams at them in a way that makes Juniper think they don't get fresh blood here all that often, and she says, oh, of course, I'll fetch Miss Stone, and she skitters back into the room. Juniper catches an angled glimpse, that's not a word, an angled glimpse of desks and stacks of paper, and she hears the business-like chatter of working women and feels a familiar lonesomeness well up in her throat, a sisterless hunger to be on the other side of that door. Oh, do make yourselves comfortable, the secretary calls as she shuts the door. 2 spindly chairs are in the office, and they don't look like they can hold anything heavier than a canary, so Juniper stays on her feet, weight hitched away from her bad leg. Bella stands statue still, hands politely clasped. When she gets all proper and all ladylike, Juniper remembers her as a creature of sighs and slouches and soft tangled hair. She watches the clatter of the street through the window, carriages and trolleys and iron-shod horses, sober black letters hover over the scene, painted backwards on the inside of the window. Headquarters of the New Salem Women's Association. A thrill sizzles through her. Hi, baby. A day ago, she was lost, reeling, spinning through the world like a puppet with its strings cut. And now she's here, with the smell of witching on the wind, and the promise of power painted on the window right above her, and a whole pack of brand new sisters waiting just on the other side of the door. Juniper shoots a sideways look at Bella, all prim and nervous, and hopes politicking proves thicker than blood. The secretary comes bustling back into the room, accompanied by a white-wigged lady who made the speech in the square the day before. She looks older and tireder, up close, all cheekbones and worry lines. Her eyes are a pair of brass scales, weighing them. Miss Lind tells me you're interested in joining our association. Juniper ducks her head, feeling suddenly so young next to this woman. Yes, ma'am. Why? Oh. Well, I was there yesterday at the rally. I liked what you said about equality. The word still felt silly in her mouth. 4 syllables of make-believe and rainbows. So she tries again. And what you said about the way things are. How it's not fair and it's never been fair, and how the bastards take what they like from us until there's nothing left, and then we don't have any choices except for the bad choices. Hi, sweet girl. Miss Stone raises 2 delicate fingers. No need to harm yourself, child. I quite understand. Her eyes harden from brass to beaten iron. But you ought to understand. Whatever your personal troubles, the Women's Association is no place for bloody-mindedness or vengeance. There are no Panghursts here. Juniper does not know what a Panghurst is. Miss Stone must intuit this from the blankness of her expression, because she clarifies, this is a respectable and peaceable organization. Yes, ma'am. And Miss Stone pivots to Bella. And you? Me? Why are you joining us today? Oh, I'm not. That is, you certainly have my sympathies, but I am awfully busy at work, and I don't really have time. What's the matter, sweet girl? What's wrong? What's wrong? What is it? What is it? Yeah, what is it? What is it? You just want to kick your leggies? You can kick your leggies. That's okay, kick your leggies. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. There we go. Is that better? Is that better? Is that better? Do you need to be repositioned? Yeah. You need to be repositioned.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Are you working something out? I think you are. We're working something out. No, she's not hungry. She just ate right before this. She might be working something out in her diaper. Oh, I know. Do you need a diaper change? Yeah. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to go change our diaper. We're going to come right back. We're sorry. We had to work something out in our diaper. That's okay. That's okay. Oh, no. Maybe not. Did we? We're going to check. Let's go check our diaper and we'll be right back. Everybody take a quick break. Go get yourself some coffee and we will come right back. Because we just ate, so we probably have a little wet diaper and it's uncomfy. And that's okay. Mommy be right back. Yeah, let's go. Oh, bless you. Bless you. Bless you. Bless you. Daddy woke up while I was changing her diaper and he stole her because he loves her so much. He always wants to hold her. So we will now be babyless because she has been thieved from us. But she did need a diaper change. That's why she was just uncomfy. And I don't blame her. I wouldn't want to sit in that either. Oh, I totally love his sloth. I have no problem with it whatsoever. Yeah, no, I'm teasing when I say that. But let's keep going because I love this book and I want to read more of it every day. And it's so hard to wait for the next day with you guys because I love it so much. I'm definitely going to read more by this author. She's like A+. Miss Stone had already turned away from her and she addresses Juniper again. Miss Lind will add your name to our meeting list and discuss upcoming committee meetings you might be able to join. Juniper tries to look eager, although she finds the word committee unpromising. And will you be making a contribution to our association fund? What now? Miss Stone exchanges a look with her secretary and Bella hisses at her. Money, June. Oh, I don't have any of that. She never has, really. What work Juniper did back in Crow County was paid in kind. Jarred honey or fried apples or catmint picked on the half moon. Daddy never seemed to let them see a cent of his money. I'm between jobs, you see. How far into the book are you? We're on chapter 6, Heather. We're on chapter 6. Between... Miss Stone sounded puzzled, as if she was unfamiliar with the concept of jobs, as if money's just a thing that a person finds when they reach into their handbags.
"Oh, well, no woman is barred from our cause by poverty," she says, all lofty and generous, but her tone looks under Juniper's skin like a summer briar. Miss Lind launches into a lecture about their various letter-writing campaigns and subcommittees and allied organizations. Juniper listens with her temper simmering, bubbling like a pot left too long over the fire. "And then the Centennial Fair is coming up in May, of course, and we feel it's an excellent opportunity for another demonstration to get people's minds off the equinox." Miss Lind's throat bobs in a dry little swallow. "Anyway, what project interests you? The campaign for the vote is paramount, naturally, but we also promote temperance, divorce rights, property ownership, and various charitable—" Juniper tilts her head and says, "witching." It lands like a bare-handed slap, flat and loud. Beside her, Bella makes a soft, pained sound. "I beg your pardon." Miss Stone's mouth has gone very small and very dry, like an apple left too long on the windowsill. The secretary's mouth is hanging wide open now. Juniper's tired of this mincing and dancing and sidestepping around the thing that they ought to be running toward. "You know, you saw it. The tower and the trees and the mix-up of the stars." Both of them are blinking in horrified unison. "That was real witching, like the good kind of stuff. The kind of stuff that you could do a whole lot more than just curl your hair with or shine your shoes. The kind that could cure the sick or curse the wicked, you know? The kind that keeps mothers alive and little girls safe. The kind that might still somehow find a way to steal Juniper's land back from her dumb shit cousin Dan." Juniper spreads her arms, palms up. "You asked what I wanted to work on, and that's it." Miss Stone's mouth shrivels even smaller. "Miss West, I'm afraid—" Her secretary interrupts, a little nervous blurt. "The men did it. Those union boys in Chicago last year. They said the machines rusted overnight and coal refused to burn." Miss Stone casts her a sort of look that turns people into pillars of salt, and secretary subsides. "The Women's Association is not interested in what some degenerate men may or may not have done in Chicago, Miss Lind." She draws a deep, not very calm breath and turns back to Juniper. "I'm afraid you have entirely misunderstood our position. The association has battled for decades to afford the same respect and legal rights enjoyed by men. It is the battle that we are losing. The American public still sees women as housewives at best and witches at worst. We may either be beloved or burned. We must never be trusted with any degree of power, you see." She pauses, and her mouth shrinks to the smallest bitter apple seed. "I don't know who was responsible for the abnormality at St. George's, but I would turn her in myself before letting such activities destroy everything we have worked for." Miss Stone extracts a ruffled copy of the New Salem Post from the front desk and flings it at Juniper and Bella. The splashy, oversized headline reads, "Magic Most Black," and with smaller print lined beneath it, "Mysterious Tower Terrorizes Citizens." Some imaginative artist has provided a sketch of a great black spire looming above New Salem's skyline, complete with brooding storm clouds and little bats flapping around the top of it. Juniper squints her way through the adjectives and hysteria, skims past the excitable phrases like "terrified wailing of innocent children" and "malevolent apparition," and on the last few paragraphs it says, "While Mayor Worthington's office has claimed that there is no evidence of serious witchcraft and urges the citizenry to remain rational, others are less sanguine. The rumors that the notorious Daughters of Tituba may be behind the occurrence, although New Salem's police department maintains that there is no such organization in existence. Miss Grace Wiggin, the head of the Women's Christian Union, points to the recent and virulent fevers that have run rampant through New Salem and recalls the ancient connection between witchcraft and the plague. Surely we need not wait for a second Black Death before we act," she's quoted as saying. "Mr. Gideon Hill left us with this sobering reflection. I fear that we have only ourselves to blame. In tolerating the unnatural demands of the suffragists, have we also not harbored their unnatural magics? The people deserve a mayor who will protect them from harm, and there is no harm greater than the return of witching." Indeed, Mr. Hill, an up-and-coming member of the city council and third-party candidate for New Salem mayor, might be just the man for the job. Juniper tosses the paper back on the desk. "Well," she offers, "shit." Miss Stone regards her quite grimly. "Quite. Who are the daughters of Tituba? Bella opens her mouth, but Miss Stone answers first. Oh, an unsavory rumor. She stabs a finger at the paper. Listen, Miss West, you're welcome to the association and to assist in our mission. Saints knows we need every warm body that we can get, but you will have to abandon your pursuit of this, she taps the article. Devilry. Am I understood? Juniper looks at her, this little old woman with a powdered wig and a big office on the fancy side of town, and she understands perfectly well. She understands that the Women's Association wants one kind of power, the kind you can wear in public, or you can argue in a courtroom, or you can write on a slip of paper, or you can drop in a ballot box. And Juniper wants another kind. The kind that cuts, the kind with sharp teeth and talons, the kind that starts fires and dances merry around the blaze. And she understands that if she intends to pursue it, she'll have to do it on her own. Yes, ma'am, she says, and she hears 3 sighs of relief around her. Miss Stone invites Juniper to report the Centennial March Planning Committee, and the following Tuesday evening she instructs Miss Lynn to add her to the name of the members list and give her a tour of the offices. She turns back once more before sweeping into the recesses of the office, her apple-seed mouth unshriveling very slightly. It's not that I don't understand. Every thinking woman has once wanted what she shouldn't, what she can't have. I do wish. Juniper wonders if Miss Stone was ever a little girl listening to her grandmother's stories about a maiden riding in on her white stag through the woods, the mother striding into battle, if once she dreamed of wielding swords rather than slogans. But Miss Stone gives her shoulders a little stern shake. I just wish we might make use of every tool in our pursuit of justice, but I am afraid the modern woman cannot afford to be sidetracked by moonbeams and witch tales. Juniper smiles back pleasantly as she knows how, and Bella just whispers, yes, of course, beside her. But there's a look in Bella's eyes as she says it, a struck flint spark that makes Juniper think that her sister doesn't intend to give up her moonbeams or witch tales at all, that maybe she too wants that kind of power. Beatrice Belladonna leaves the New Salem Women's Association headquarters with her cloak pulled tightly against the spring chill and an anxious knot in her belly. She walks down St. Patience, thinking about the way her sister had looked as she added her name to the list of members, bold and foolish, the way that Beatrice's fingers itched to copy her. Thinking, too, about the words she found written in the margins of the Sisters Grimm, and her growing certainty in speaking them aloud. She had touched a match to an invisible fuse, begun something which now could not be stopped. Because Beatrice's eyes are on the limestone cobbles, her shoulders hunched around her ears like a worried owl, she doesn't see the woman walking toward her until they collide. Oh, my goodness. I apologize. Pardon me. Beatrice is somehow on all fours, feeling blindly for her spectacles and apologizing to a pair of neatly shined boots. A warm hand pulls her upright and dusts the street grime from her dress. Are you all right, miss? The voice is low and amused, but her face is a blur of white teeth and brown skin. Yes, perfectly fine. I just need my spectacles. A half laugh, and Beatrice feels her glasses settle back onto her nose. The smudge resolves itself into a woman with amber eyes and skin like sunlight through a jarred sorghum. She wears a gentleman's coat buttoned daringly over her skirts and a derby hat perched at an angle that Beatrice can only describe as jaunty. The only colored women on the north side of North Salem are usually maids and serving girls, but this woman is quite clearly neither of those things. The woman extends her hand and smiles with such professional charm that Beatrice feels slightly blinded. Miss Cleopatra Quinn, the New Salem Defender. She says it breezily as if the Defender were a ladies' journal or a fashion periodical rather than a radical colored paper infamous for its sedacious editorials. Its office had been burned and relocated at least twice, to Beatrice's knowledge. Beatrice shakes Miss Quinn's hand and releases it quickly, not noticing the way that she smells, ink and clove and hot oil of a printing press, or whether she wears a wedding band or not. She does. Beatrice swallows. Beatrice Eastwood, associate librarian at the Salem College. Miss Quinn is looking over Beatrice's shoulder at the association headquarters. Are you a member of the Women's Association? Were you present for the events in the square on the equinox? Well, no. Yes. I was, but I'm not. Miss Quinn raises a placating hand, and Beatrice notices her wrist is splattered with silver scars, round pockets that almost but don't quite make a pattern. I assure you, the defender isn't interested in any of that breathless witch hunt nonsense printed in the Post. You may be confident with your observations that they'll be present with both accuracy and sympathy if you speak with me. There's a vibrancy to Miss Quinn that makes Beatrice think of an actress on stage, or maybe a street witch misdirecting her audience. Beatrice feels exceptionally drab and stupid standing beside her. She smiles a little desperately, perspiring in the spring sun. I'm afraid I don't have any opinions to offer. No, a shame. Suffragettes have a reputation for opinions. Well, I'm not really a suffragist. I mean, I'm not a formal member of the association, nor am I, and yet I persist in having all manner of opinions and observations. Beatrice catches a laugh before it escapes and stuffs it back down in her throat. Well, perhaps you ought to join then. She can tell by the flattening of Miss Quinn's smile that was the wrong thing to say, and Beatrice knows why. She's overheard enough talk at the library and read enough editorials in the Ladies' Tribune to understand that New Salem Women's Association is divided on the question of color line. Some worry that the inclusion of colored women might tarnish the respectable reputation of them. Others feel that they ought to spend a few more decades being grateful for their freedom before they agitate anything so radical as rights. I'm going to read that again because I jumbled over that a little, and we need to internalize this line, okay? Because I think this is something that people are still thinking, despite not thinking that they're thinking it. But I stumbled reading it. I didn't read it well. So I want you to listen, because this is an important line, you guys. The Women's Association is divided on the question of the color line. Some worry that the inclusion of colored women might tarnish their respectable reputation. Others feel that they ought to spend a few more decades being grateful for their freedom before they agitate for anything so radical as rights. Others feel they ought to spend a few more decades being grateful for their freedom before they agitate for anything so radical as rights. That's a wild. Yeah, same, Amanda. Like, I can't let the importance of that line go. Like, that is, yeah, people definitely do, Naisa, and it is dangerous. It hits hard when you read something like that. Obviously, it is very icky. It's very icky, Roxy. This is obviously fiction, but like, we need artists and we need fiction to highlight these kinds of things. And this is a book that takes place in another time, but it was written in 2020, right? So like, I know that our book club is fun and light and fluffy, but we do get into some serious things if any of you are new here. And I think it's always important to press a little on the matters like this, right? Like, why does this need to be said in a book that was written in 2020? Right? You know, just like, ugh. With a lot of the things in the news this past week, I think that line is particularly poignant from Miss Alex Haro. I agree, Roxy, wholeheartedly. I agree wholeheartedly. Most of them agree that it would be far more convenient if colored women just remained in the Colored Women's League. Oh, do you feel that way? Do you think that maybe we shouldn't have DEI hires? Is that what you're saying? Sounds a little familiar. Not to get political, but... Beatrice herself suspects that two separate but equal organizations are far less effective than a single united one, and that their daddy was wrong about free men needing to go back to Africa as he was about women minding their place, but she never worried over much about it. She feels uncomfortable with a twist of shame in her belly. Miss Quinn's smile has smoothed. Oh, I think not. But the equinox, Miss Eastwood, why don't you tell me what you saw? I know, right? That's actually a really good point. This book is coming up now to read and not at Halloween for a reason. That is an excellent point. We wanted to read this book at Halloween because we thought it was witchy, and it is witchy, but it's more than that. What a great point. excellent point. I love that. This is beautiful. Good thinking. I saw the same thing that everyone else saw. I'm sure. I mean, like sudden winds, a stars, a tower, a door with certain words inscribed on it, and a certain sign beneath them. Miss Quinn says mildly, but her eyes are yellow and feline. Was there? Beatrice asks lamely. There was an old symbol of circles woven into it together. It's of particular interest to me and certainly of my associates. Would you, a librarian, I think you said that's what you are, happen to know anything about that sign? No, I'm afraid not. That is, like, circles are common as sort of sigils or spellwork, or the number 3 is the traditional sign of significance, isn't it? It could be anything. I see. Although, Miss Quinn smiles, a checkmate sort of smile, I don't believe I told you how many circles there were. Oh, Miss Eastwood, I was just heading to the tea shop on 6th. Won't you join me? And as she says it, she gives Beatrice a particular kind of look through her lashes, heated and secret. It looks as if Beatrice has spent 7 years carefully neither giving nor receiving nor even wanting. When she was younger, she permitted herself to want things, to admire women's peony petal lips or the delicate hollow of their throat, but she learned her lesson. She takes an anxious step back away from Miss Cleopatra Quinn, her long eyelashes, and says, I'm afraid I must get to work. And she attempts a cool nod. Good day. Miss Quinn looks neither offended nor discouraged by her abrupt departure, but merely more intent. Well, until we meet again, Miss Eastwood. She gives Beatrice a sober tip of her derby hat and spreads her skirt in a gesture that's a half bow and half curtsy, and Beatrice blushes for no reason that she can name. Beatrice walks 3 blocks back to the college with her eyes on her boots, not thinking about moonbeams or witch tales or the thin wedding band on Miss Quinn's finger. She barely hears the scantily whispers of passers-by or the paper boys darting like swallows through the streets, calling out headlines. Witches in New Salem on the loose. Hill's morality party on the rise. Mayor Worthington under pressure. And if the shadows on the streets behave oddly, peeling away from the dark doorways, curling out of alleyways, trailing her like the black hem of a long cloak, Beatrice does not notice. Chapter 7. Bye, baby bunting, mother's gone a-hunting, a spell to end what hasn't yet begun, requiring pennyroyal and regret. 2 weeks after she found her long-lost sisters and then lost them again, Agnes Amaranth is sitting in a dim back alley shop just off St. Fortitude. There is no sign or title on the door, but Agnes knows she's in the right place. She can smell the wild scent of herbs and earth, just like Mags's hut, out of place on the cobbles of New Salem. The proprietress is a handsome Greek woman with black curls and dark painted eyes. She introduces herself in an accent that rolls and purrs, and Madame Zena Card, palmist, spiritualist, card reader, and midwife. But Agnes hasn't come to have her fortune told or her palms read. Pennyroyal, please, she says, and it's enough. Madame Zena gives her a weighing look, as though checking to see whether Agnes knows what she has asked for and why, and then unlocks a cupboard and tucks a few dried sprigs into a brown paper sack. Steep the pennyroyal in river water, boil it good, mind you, and then stir it 7 times with a silver spoon. The words cost extra. Madame Zena's eyes lingered on the eggshell swell of Agnes's belly. She's barely showing, but only a woman in the particular state of this would come to visit Zena's shop, asking for pennyroyal. Agnes shakes her head once. I already have them. Mags told her those words when she was 16 years old, and she hasn't forgotten. Madame Zena nods amiably and hands her the brown paper sack sealed with wax. Concern crimps her black brows. No need to look so glum, girl. I don't know what your man or your God has told you, but there's no sin to this. It's just the way of the world. Older than the 3 themselves, not every woman wants a child. Agnes almost laughs at her. Of course she wants a child. Of course she wants to lay its sleeping cheek against her breastbone and smell its milk-sweet breath, to become on its behalf something greater than herself, a castle, a sword, stone, or steel, all things that her own mother wasn't to her. But Agnes wanted to take care of her sisters once, and she won't bring another life into the world just to fail it, too. She doesn't know how to put any of her foolish, doomed wanting into words, so she just shrugs at Madame Zena, feeling the bones of her shoulders grate. Let me read the cards for you, free of charge. Zena gestures to an armchair that looks like it was once pink or cream. And now is the greasy color of unwashed skin. Ragged red curtains droop over the arm. No, thank you. Zena runs her tongue over her teeth, eyes narrowed. I could read hers, if you like. Her eyes narrow on Agnes's belly. Agnes sits as if something heavy has hit the back of her knees, and Zena settles herself across from her and produces a packet of oversized cards with gold stars painted on their back and edges gone soft with use. A past? She flips over the 3 of swords, showing a ruby red heart with 3 swords running cleanly through it. Agnes thinks of her sundered sisters and the terrible wounds that they've dealt on one another. 7 years old and still unhealed. She shifts uncomfortably in the chair. At present, Zena lays out 3 cards of time: the Witch of Swords, the Witch of Wands, and the Witch of Cups. Agnes almost smiles to see them. The Witch of Swords even looks a little like Juniper, her hair a wild splatter of ink, expression fierce. A future. The 8 of Swords, showing a woman bound and blind, surrounded by enemies. The Hanged Woman, dangling upside down like a sacrificial animal on an altar, and Agnes avoids her gaze. Zena sets the deck on the table and taps it once. You draw the last one. Agnes reaches out her hand, but a sudden wind whips through the window, night cool and tricklesome, scented faintly with roses, and scatters the deck across the floor. The wind rifles like fingers through fallen cards before whispering into silence. It leaves a single card faced up. The Tower, shadowed and tall. Agnes's blood burns at the sight of it. Here! She claws the cards off the floor and shoves them at Zena. Let me choose properly. Zena purses her lip as she thinks Agnes is being a little stupid, but she shuffles the deck anyway. She knocks the edges of the table and presents the deck again. Agnes turns the card and the Tower leers up at her a second time, a black spire of ink surrounded by white pinpricks. Up close she sees the border is actually a tangle of thorns and vines smeared with a dull pink for blooms, like tiny mouths or maybe roses. Agnes stands very abruptly. I'm sorry, I have to go. She wants nothing to do with that tower or the wicked wind. She knows what trouble looks like when it comes slinking through an open window to tug at the loose threads of your fate. Oh, it's not such a bad reading as all that. She'll face trials, but who doesn't in this life? Agnes can only shake her head and stumble backwards toward the door. She hears Zena call after her. Come see me when you change your mind. I'm the best midwife in West Babel. Ask anyone. But before she's out in the alley, turning right on before she knows it, she's out in the alley, turning right on St. Fortitude. She walks with one hand fisted in her pocket, palms sweating into the brown paper of the sack, cards hovering behind her eyes like portents or promises. The Tower, the heart stabbed thrice over, the 3 witches. She could feel the edges of a story plucking at her, making her middle sister in some dark witch tale. Better the middle sister than the mother. Middle sisters are forgotten, or failed, or ill-fated, but at least they survive, mostly. Mothers rarely make it past the first line. They die as gently and easily as flowers wilting, and they leave their 3 daughters exposed to the wickedness of this world. Their deaths aren't gentle or easy in real life. Agnes was 5 when Juniper was born, but she remembers the mess of stained sheets and the wet pearl color of their mother's skin, the old penny stink of birth and blood. Her father watching with jagged wrongness on his face, his arms crossed, not running for help, not ringing the bell that would bring Mama Mags and herbs and rhymes. Agnes should have rung the bell herself. She should have slipped out the back door and hauled the half-rotten rope, but she didn't, because she was scared of the wrong thing in her daddy's eyes, because she chose her own hide over her mother. She remembers her mother's hand, white and bloodless as the blank pages at the end of a book. She remembers touching her cheeks just before the end, her voice saying, "Take care of them, Agnes Amaranth." Bella was older, but she knew Agnes was the strong one. That first night, it was Agnes who washed the blood from her baby sister's skin. Agnes who let her suck on the tip of her pinky when she cried, and later it was Agnes who brushed her hair before school and held her hand in the endless night behind the cellar door. It was Agnes who left Juniper to fend for herself because she wasn't strong enough to stay, because survival is a selfish thing. And now her sisters are here with her in the sinless city, and their daddy is dead. Agnes ought to be relieved, but she's seen enough of the world to know that he was just one monster among many, one cruelty in an endless line. It's safer to walk alone. The brown paper bag in her pocket is a promise that she'll stay that way. She passes a tannery, eyes watering with acid, or maybe it's something else, a butcher shop, a stable half full of police horses, idle stamping iron hooves, St. Charity's Hospital, a low limestone building that smells of lye and lesions, built by the church to tend to the filthy, godless habitants of West Babel. Agnes has seen nuns and doctors walking the streets, proselytizing at unmarried women, waving purity pledges. But girls who give birth at St. Charity's came out grayish and sagging, holding their babies loosely, as if they aren't certain that they belong to them. And at the mill, most women prefer mothers and midwives when their time comes. Now, St. Charity echoes with the hacking sounds of the summer fever. Someone has drawn a witch mark across the door, a crooked cross dabbled in ash. Agnes wonders if the rumors are right and a second plague is indeed coming. She crosses the street and distracts herself by reading tattered posters pasted along the fences and walls, advertisements and ordinances, wanted posters with rain-splotched photographs, bills for Centennial Fair next month. On the corner of 22nd Street, the brick has been entirely covered by a single repeated poster like grim wallpaper. It's crisp and new-looking, and the image is printed in bold black and red. A raised fist holding a burning torch against the night. Smoke coils from the flames, forming ghoulish faces and animal bodies distorted with the words, "Sin, suffrage, witchcraft." Smaller Sander letters cross the top, urges citizens to vote Gideon Hill, our light against the darkness. 3 men stand clustered ahead of Agnes. They hold paste buckets and stacks of posters, each wearing bronze pins engraven with Hill's lit torch. There's something vaguely unsettling about these men, the odd synchronicity of their movements, maybe, or the fervid gaze of their eyes, or the way that their shadows seem sluggish, moving half a second behind their owners. "Tell your husbands vote for Hill," one of them says as she passes by. "Our light in the darkness," says the second one. "Can't be too careful with women witching on those back on the loose." The third extends one poster toward her. Agnes should take it. She should bob her head politely. She knows better than to start shit with these zealots, but she doesn't. Instead, she just spits on the ground between them, spattering the man's boots with the colored slime. She doesn't know why she did it. Maybe she's tired of knowing better and minding her place anyway. Maybe because she can feel her wild younger sister within her city tugging her toward trouble. Agnes and the man stare together at the spit sliding off his boot, glistening like the snotty trail of a snail. He stands very still, but Agnes notes distantly that the arms of his shadow are moving, reaching toward her skirt, and then she's running, refusing to find out what those shadows' hands will do to her or what the hell kind of witchcraft is on the loose in New Salem. She runs down toward 22nd and turns on St. Jude's, and then she's back in room number 7 of South Sybil's boarding house, panting and holding her barely showing belly. She withdraws Zena's brown paper bag from her apron, pennyroyal and half a cup of river water. That's all it takes to keep that circle drawn tight around her heart, to stay alone and to survive. She did it once before. She drank it down in one bitter swallow and felt nothing but a rib-shaking relief when the cramps gnawed at her belly, and she never regretted it. Now she finds herself settling the brown paper sack on the floor unopened. Lying down in her narrow bed, she wished that her older sister was here to whisper her a story, or to spark inside her. That second heart was beating stubbornly on. And there we have it. There we have it. This is getting intense, friends. Getting very intense. It's a great book so far. Very, very, very excited by this book. What percent are we at? I'm not sure. We're at chapter 8. I think we just ended chapter 7. The percent is 14%. Yeah, the book is so good, you guys. When will you do a slime live? Oh gosh, I have no idea. Probably not till March. I said I was going to take a month off of slime stuff to settle with the baby and not, stand for like an hour. It's still, I'm still recovering, and I need to make sure that my stitches heal properly. So it'll probably be a little while until we do a slime live, but we'll still have book club and stuff because it's calmer and it encourages me to sit down, which is really good for me because I'm really bad at sitting. Yes, tip-top shape. So we're going to go to the farmer's market today, and I will see you all Monday morning for more book club. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys.